What?
Sorry, I was really into the music. You know, we get a copyright notice every week for that song, and I have to dispute it every week.
Oh, well, I might be able to help you with that. I didn't know that. It's totally worth it, though. That song is amazing.
Oh wait, did you steal it, or is that from? I thought it was from Envato.
No, that's a legit. We're allowed to use that.
Okay,
but yeah, I think you might be able to submit something.
I did submit, and we win every time. But I'm like, do I have to do this every week? Anyway, welcome to EriDan Film
Festival.
It
is the EriDan Film Festival, but it's TV week, but it's also TV kind of movie week. I don't know. It's everything week. There is so much happening tonight. If you're watching, could not have chosen a better night to be with us, because tonight we've got so much to discuss. We have got so much to announce. Wow, one or two things to announce. Maybe.
I got my Eugene Levy going.
We're going to find out some things. We're going to find out about a double feature for next week. What? It's very exciting times here. And so we want to encourage you to be a part of us at EriDanLive.com. Right over there. You should join in. You should be part of the show. You should tell us what you think. We're going to be talking about this show where everybody likes to look over their shoulder. It's Burn Notice. You got to go more severe than that. It's got to be all the way over the shoulder. Come on, you got to get there it is. So much smolder. There's so much smolder in this show. We're going to talk about the TV show Burn Notice, and then we're going to talk about the movie Groundhog Day, because Groundhog Day is coming up this week.
Oh my God!
My goodness!
I'll be in Washington D.C. for Groundhog Day. I hope that nothing happens like a Groundhog Day type thing, and I get stuck there every day for 35,000 years.
35,000. That would be
35 years, whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's get 35 years started now, shall we?
Okay.
All right. Burning with desire is Stacy and Wade.
Okay.
Ready to go on notice. Do we, and we can discuss this in the show, so just a yes and no answer. Do we ever find out why he was burned?
No, not really. Just
7 seasons, so we never find out.
Yeah, just so that they could use them to do their dirty work,
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of dirty work,
that's honestly, that was the gist that I got. I'm like, they're not going to tell us. So, but I wasn't sure, like maybe buried in the middle of season 6, they were like, it's because we needed some extra Taco Bell coupons. I don't know.
They burned him because they needed him to be on Law and Order many years later.
Oh
yeah.
He was on Law and Order?
Uh-huh.
I had no idea. Did he look over his shoulder?
That would be CSI. They're over over
the shoulder people. Speaking of over the shoulder people.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
You almost had to look directly into your headrest. It's Ned Ryerson.
Ned Ryerson?
Am I right? Am I right? All right.
I rewatched, and I know, having watched now the first 2 seasons of Burn Notice again, that I got at least that far the first time through. And I enjoyed it. I think actually the end of season 2 is really good. I think that it almost could have ended the series there in some ways.
I think they probably were planning to.
My problem is that if this had 8-episode seasons like modern streaming shows, I'd watch them all.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I don't want to skip, but I don't want to watch 5 more seasons either. So it's kind of
I skipped. We'll talk about some heavy skipping. And we'll talk about the fact that it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Speaking of things that don't matter,
my neighbor needs help.
Wow.
Exactly. Speaking of somebody who needs help.
That's Scott?
Yes, it's Scott.
It's Scott. As a baby, you'll grow. Bring Scott back.
What? I see this as an absolute win.
Oh my goodness.
He's entirely blurred.
For 30 seconds.
Yes, I definitely need help.
Very healthy.
Everyone recognizes that.
Bring it.
Wow.
Come and bring your Godzilla and put it up behind us.
I got you.
I'm in
What is
a
happening?
Scott's shirt.
You're not muted.
Yeah, actually, I'm switching allegiances now. I now go to the University of Champaign.
Oh,
Emphasis on the pain.
Cool.
Pain, very nice.
That's very cool.
You know, changing things up a little bit.
yeah.
I mean,
We
just we'll spin the wheel of what school Scott
It's
apparently
because
likes
I made
to talk
fun of-
about.
I made fun of Scott in my act on Saturday nights, and now he's not where USD.
Oh yeah, it was just Saturday night. Yeah.
Hey, you get a Peloton, you're fair game. You have to go to Harvard too.
At least you haven't tried to do long distance magic tricks on the show.
Yeah, at least I didn't go to different.
Oh my gosh.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
I think I have that card here.
The LDM. All right. Speaking of LDMs. It's Brian. Brian is here.
I don't know what an LDM is.
I don't know either. So.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Distance magician.
LDM's a Larry David moment.
Believe it.
A lot of Larry David moments. Oh, that's awesome too.
You can literally do this in
Okay.
yelling.
Okay.
I don't have. I thought I had that card still in my desk here. The one that
I have it here. No, got it.
What a card. Speaking of cards.
A huge fan of long distance magic.
Absolutely, yeah.
So of course.
Best way to do magic.
Oh no, here it is. Oh,
Oh,
wow. You made us all sick.
Yes. Speaking of thumbs.
The man that's all thumbs.
It's Groundhog
Week
Day.
in
He
a
was here
row.
just last week.
It is. How about that, Cody?
I'm not making the Lord's chicken at this hour, so we're good.
Oh man. Well, we
fireworks
appreciate
off.
you and the Lord's chicken.
It's good chicken.
It is good chicken.
What do you make?
He's a guy. He's not the
I
guy.
love the nuggets.
So what do we know about so Wade, you picked Burn Notice
That is correct. 2 months ago.
2 months ago. This has been a long time coming.
Wow.
We had
And
lots of time to watch episodes of Burn Notice.
I'll be honest, I wasn't even familiar with the show until I learned to look over my shoulder. And there it was. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I like kind of spy type things, but he did a lot of stuff where I liked a lot of his how he dealt with his situations.
I don't like him. I feel like this is my big problem with the
He
show.
becomes more likable, but he is kind of he's got kind of a punchable face.
Yeah.
It's his facial expressions. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And then you have Fee, who is an okay-looking girl who likes to swing around guns and beat up guys. I mean,
What's not to like about that?
Yeah, exactly.
La Femme Nikita next? Is that?
So, yeah. So it was interesting to watch. And then,
I almost redid our intro this week to be like the things about being a podcast host. You need to really make sure that you know who your audience is.
Yeah.
and then show you assembling a microphone with duct tape and
and some C4
and an old cell phone or something.
He is like a modern MacGyver.
Yeah.
I didn't
Except
need
he uses cell
narration.
phones in 90% of what he builds, so it's kind of cheating.
Well, I'm surprised nobody knows why he was burned. It actually
You
is
know?
explained in great thorough detail, and there's a whole movie dedicated to it. It was made in the 90s, and it's called Blair Witch 2: Book of Shadows.
Okay.
Which he was in.
I
So there's an origin
movie.
Maybe
Yes.
that's the reason that he was burned.
For being in that POS.
So we've got several ties to this movie then, because the Blair Witch Project creator director, one of them lives here on the island, and Scott knows, and the guy watched the sitcom pilot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Matt Nix, the creator of Burn Notice.
What?
Wow.
So,
This name drop is sponsored in part by hats. The best solution when you haven't taken a shower. Try hats. So many hats. So many hats. All right.
So what you have to do is have Rick Springfield in every episode go, I need your help with something.
Yeah.
Well,
give
I also
Matt Nix a hat.
I don't remember if it was the first or the second episode when they used the names Cagney and Lacey.
Yes.
I thought that was wonderful because his mom, if I'm not mistaken, was Cagney and or Lacey. I forget which one she was.
Yeah, well, she was
Was she Cagney?
Tyne Daly and Sharon Glass. I don't remember which one was which.
Yeah.
I can never remember.
Lagney or Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
I felt a lot of the characters were very one-dimensional. Is that an accurate criticism of the show?
It was a USA series.
Yeah.
I was literally about to say that. God freaking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
You know, I like Monk too. But Monk
like
does
they
not have
all-
the most thoroughly
everybody
developed
had-
characters.
Everybody had a characteristic.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh-huh.
generous reminder that Suits was also a USA series, and Dan's in love with that show. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon Glass was
Well, he said he
Cagney.
liked this.
All right, Cagney. I like this. I like this a lot.
You've got, you get Burn Notice, you get Monk, you
Yeah.
get Rizzoli and Isles. You get all these cable station detective
WWE
type
Raw.
shows that have a similar feel to them in a lot of ways.
This is
Well,
a
the
lot like
thing, too,
wrestling.
was-
You're right.
With the last actors strike that happened years before, or the negotiation, broadcast TV was paying, like, let's say $500,000 for the star per episode. Cable was paying like $25,000. So your budget was so much lower to do cable, and even the minimums, like the minimum might be $6,000 for broadcast, and for cable might be $1,000.
So that's why the entire show had to take place in Miami.
Yeah, and Miami's a super cheap place to film.
And they absolutely use no stock footage of Miami whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, all those women absolutely signed up and to be actors on that show.
Yes.
There was a lot of bikinis in earlier episodes.
It's a lot of butt shots.
Yeah, I only watched the first 5 episodes, and yeah, the first episode was like, it's like half of the shot just gonna be a bunch of like people's butts.
Oh, to be a
better is
Get numb to it.
Adam was too busy going to comedy shows, but he didn't have time to watch. He watched Love season 1. Bruce Campbell, honestly, if they had remade Greatest American Hero, Bruce Campbell could have been a perfect part that what's his name, that Robert
William Cat?
No, Robert Culp.
Oh, Culp.
You got to play the FBI agent. He's got that kind of sidekick.
Oh yeah.
He was an FBI agent in this.
When you get those inexpensive cable shows, the only thing that makes them stand out, because the writing is going to be mediocre, to be honest, and the production values are going to be okay, but not great. But the reason Monk stands above them is because Tony Shalhoub is so good.
Right.
And if it wasn't for Tony Shalhoub, Monk would have just been run of the mill. And so you have to have something that makes it stand out.
So what makes this what makes this not just a remake of Silk Stockings?
If they don't wear stockings, they wear bikinis.
Sexiest cop team on TV.
I used to watch Silk Stockings.
Oh, I used to love Silk Stockings so much. Silk Stockings always was on when I got home from DJing. So at like 3 a.m. you could watch Silk Stockings. And
Silk Stockings, more than
watched
just a
almost
show.
all of the run of that.
Now that it's on Hulu,
similar feel.
Now that it's on Hulu, I really want to start. I want to watch a few episodes of Moonlighting and see how it is again.
Yeah,
We tried that. We have not
It
finished.
didn't hold up.
Well, we only did the first episode so far.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a lot.
and it was a little. Yeah,
And a lot of first shows in their first season don't really know what they're doing.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Definitely later on they were better.
We need to go. We need to
Except
revisit
Dan's
that.
show.
Except Dan's show.
Yeah, I did for this for Burn Notice, for Burn Stockings. I watched 3 episodes of the first season. I watched the first episode of seasons 3 and 4, and then I watched the last season finale.
The last season is so bad.
It doesn't matter. Like the funny thing is, you don't miss anything.
Like I said, if the last episode of season 2 is actually very good and wraps up some things. Not a lot, but if they had the show canceled after season 2, I wouldn't have been mad at that ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that again, they might have. I mean, that might have been, they were pushing that they could have been.
I mean, they didn't answer the big questions, but they still left it sort of in a satisfying place where, okay, fine. Screw you guys was sort of kind of the way that season 2 ended. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to go my own way, and you're not going to make me do anything.
Well, that's kind of the way season 7 ends. That's the way the whole series kind of ends.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this real quick. So, since we're not doing scores, let's just go around, do a round robin. Everybody can give their a little bit of feedback, what they thought of the show, if they watched the show, blah, 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 blah. I'll start with me. No, I won't.
Okay.
You can start with you.
No, we should start with Wade picked it, so we'll start with Wade.
Start with Chuck.
Oh, wow.
Great poster. That's a great poster. I like that.
I did like the you like the poster, Scott?
Yeah,
mine's bigger. Sorry.
I don't know. We got this one from the movie theater the night of the movie came out.
Mine's 6 feet tall, maybe bigger than that.
Go on.
6 feet.
It's not the size of your poster.
I'm just gonna. We'll compare posters later.
6-foot Quiet Place poster. It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a good poster. I
like your poster too.
Yeah, I like the spy side of it, and then a lot there's there's a little bit of action, and then there's like helping somebody, which seemed kind of new, but I'm sure I've seen it before somewhere else. But kind of like that. And then I did like later on. I think Sam was a pretty funny character, and there was a few episodes I watched that had one had Burt Reynolds in it, where he was an old spy, and the Russians were coming to get him, and they saved him, and the Russians were all afraid of Michael Weston because it was like Michael Weston was like the Russian special forces boogeyman for some reason. It was kind of funny. So what else were we supposed to answer?
Just what we
watch it again. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we watched this when we had cable, but we never knew when it was on, so we always missed it. We'd catch it. We didn't know the whole thing, and then I got the DVDs, first and second season. Somebody donated them to the library book sale, so I brought them home, and we were like, okay, we got to find the rest of these. Because it was fun. It was fun to watch. Like I said, the last season was like so dark. But it was fun to watch them in order, and then you go, oh, we watched this one already. Okay, cool. Love Sam Axe. He's great. Chuck Finley is Reagan's car's name. That's his code name. And I liked Sharon Gless in this was okay, but I was not a big Cagney and Lacey fan. I'd watch it. I was watching it at some point. I think when the kids were little and I was home during the day, I'd find it on something and I'd watch it then. I got a little hooked, but I liked her. I did not like her in the first episode wearing that wig. I don't know what that was about. Nuts. But and then when Tyne Daly was on, it was so fun. Yeah. It was so fun. I love stuff like that.
Forgot about her being there.
Yeah, the brother, can't stand him.
Yeah. And
when they came and said he was gone, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, but thank goodness. Okay, not really, but I couldn't stand him. He made no sense to the show whatsoever, so I didn't like that. It was just fun to watch. We watched it, like at least 3 of us watched it together. I don't know if the other 2 kids watched it, but Reagan definitely did. So
nice.
It was good.
Awesome. All right, we're going to go out of order here. We're going to see what Cody's up to because we haven't seen Cody in forever.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit, guys. Hi.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I've watched Burn Notice.
Okay.
Yeah, I was big into it at the beginning, like when it was first coming out. I watched it on TV, and I got really into like the humor of it, like the Bruce Campbell character and everything. Like, I thought it was like enjoyable to watch. However, I can't see him and not think of Sky High, which drives me absolutely insane. I mean, it's the same thing with the main character. I can't look at him and not think of Hitch.
He's in Hitch.
Yeah, he's like the jerk guy that he tried to help, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm just trying to pick up some women.
I'm not going to be your sidekick."
But no, it was an enjoyable show for the most part. I never finished it.
No.
I think when it was coming out, I just I don't know if it was the instant gratification that I couldn't like.
I
Just
think
keep
the finale
watching it.
is worth watching.
The finale, okay. I think I've seen through maybe the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, there are 7.
There's a plot point in what happens in the finale that I don't want to spoil, but
I think it kind of got.
What's happening?
They kept running over. You kept seeing the same character stuff happen over and over. It got super repetitive.
Yes.
Which was a problem for me. But I overall enjoyed the concept of it. Just maybe like we've already discussed, not 7 seasons of it.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. It could be a really good trilogy movie franchise, maybe. Amanda.
Hey, so yeah, I watched the first 5 episodes of season 1, so I cannot speak about how things evolved beyond season 1.
Not a lot.
Okay, well, that's fair. It seemed very procedural at that point, so I mean, fair.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it well enough. I feel like I enjoyed the plots and like the kind of like techie spy stuff more than I liked the characters. I feel like I mean, like the main guy didn't.
I fully agree.
He was just like, I wish he were a little less like perpetually smug. I feel like he would have been a little more likable.
That's the word. That's
a little bit more going on. And like, I mean, speaking of USA Network shows, like I really like Psych, and that has fairly one-dimensional characters. But like, I like all of that cast far more than I like the cast in Burn Notice. But I mean, I don't hate them. I just think they're a little weak. So I mean, I would recommend it. I don't think I'm gonna like binge watch it, but I'm definitely not opposed to seeing more of it. It was pleasant enough.
All right, Brian.
Yeah. I don't know what else to add. People basically said everything. Bruce Campo makes me think of Evil Dead and Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
So there's that. I like them the best, and not the others. That's that.
All right.
Fair enough.
Well spoken. Scott.
So yeah, I saw this show on and off when I was in high school. It was kind of cool to meet the creator on and off, like every decade or so. It's a good thing he liked the pilot, because I feel like I'm actually living up to what I said I was going to do, which was just take someone else's idea and get a little bit of credit for it.
Don't we all do that?
Exactly.
You're welcome.
As for the show, it's good. It's shot well. It's edited well. It's the cheesy, campy cop show that I thought I was gonna get. I think it's kind of interesting how they could have just made it all about him getting burned, and instead there's all this other stuff that has to happen first. Like, we had to have a show around you first, guy. I will say my favorite episode is the one where he has to pretend to be the devil. Like, that is absolutely hilarious. I just love movies where people just are the devil or pretend to be the devil, and to see that in a show is just hilarious.
So you're a devil worshiper.
Yes.
Okay. Do you like Little Nicky?
That's what the S stands for in USC, University of Satan Christians.
Oh
wow.
my
like Adam Sandler, Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Speaking of Satan. Oh no, you're Dracula. Sorry, Dracula.
Season 2 of Good Omens. So,
Good Omens is awesome.
It's a good show. It's a little weird in that it's like a show like a lot like a Castle, for example, where you have some long arc that they have no idea when they're going to end because it depends how many seasons they keep getting picked up for. So they can't really progress the arc very quickly. So they just sort of every like 4 or 5 episodes will inch the plot forward by a millimeter.
Yeah.
Which is mixing metric system with imperial there, but nonetheless, they will
inching it forward a millimeter. That's beautiful.
They will progress it by an infinitesimal amount.
The show is mostly
streaming shows and shows like, for example, Ted Lasso, where they have a definite story arc that they say this is going to cover 3 seasons, and they can sort of plan for the right pacing of how you resolve things. With a show like this, they can't. So most of the episodes have to be these sort of standalone procedurals, which can be enjoyable. And this is a good show that I like, but can get so samey after a while. And it works better if you're watching it once a week, and then the next season comes out 6 months later, than if you're trying to watch a bunch of episodes compressed in a short time scale.
Yeah.
The sameness of them really becomes obvious when you do that. And that's where I think we're watching it in the wrong paradigm here. We should really watch it at a much slower pace, and I think I'd like it more. And that's how I originally watched it. And I liked the first few seasons, and I don't know where I stopped, but it was somewhere after the end of season 2.
At a medium pace.
So
all right,
I might watch more episodes, but it's a commitment, and I don't know if I want to make a commitment. There's so much to watch.
All right. Well, I'll go, and then we'll let Eric go last.
Okay.
Go. I like the show. I agree with what Dave said about if you can make each season its own. Like, assume you're not going to get renewed, and write a season, have a good season ending, and then you have to come. It's kind of what Larry David does with Curb Your Enthusiasm. Each year is its own encapsulated season, but each episode kind of can stand on its own. So I do like some of the stuff's a little far-fetched, but I also like, I mean, can you really use a cell phone to do some of the things he said, or use there was one I wrote down, I can't find it, but
here, we'll cue the voiceover for you, Dan.
Yeah.
The constant voiceovers too.
Yeah, voiceovers a lot of times they say in writing is, if you can't put the action in, it's a weak side of writing. In this show, I think the voiceover actually works.
Dan was very confident in this.
I don't like the voiceover.
I've got more seasons to watch, so we'll go to Eric now. Eric, what say you?
How far did you get?
I think Amanda nailed it with the word
season 1.
The fact that you have a lead character that is so smug and it's made so much worse by the voiceover that it's like I don't buy it. I don't buy him being the super spy. I just don't. And so if you don't buy the premise, you don't buy the bit. I tried. There was just like a lot of oh my god. Oh, are they really gonna? Oh my gosh! And then you get the biggest oh my gosh in the finale. So you should watch that. Stay away from the show. There's just so much better things to watch. If you're going to devote 104 episodes of something, you could find something better. That's all.
And that ultimately is my biggest complaint with it. Isn't that it's bad? It's not. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But there's so much else I'd rather watch.
Adam is nailing it right there. Right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say Wish. I would say Temu. The new version of Wish.
You're so down with the slang.
Yeah. So we have exactly 8 people. So this layout works better, I think.
Okay. Well, should we move on?
Let's talk about Groundhog Day.
Now, do you want to do that, or do we want to find out what Adam's choices are for next week?
Oh, Adam, are you ready?
Yeah. Hold on. Wait, I have a graphic. Hold on. Wait, where's Adam's graphic? Hold on. Oh, it's been
gross.
Graphic.
This graphic.
We just used that last week.
I know, right?
Weeks ago. While we're waiting for Adam to type it in,
yes,
or jump on. Funny, Scott, by the way, for sending a message you can't get in, even though you're already on the show for 20 minutes.
Wait, what?
It says 519. I can't get in.
Oh, Thor, my brother's on my other computer.
That's funny. Your brother's watching. So wait, did you do that last week too?
He did do it last week.
He did it. I thought you were doing it last week.
That's
also, this person wants to have this.
All right. So are we going to make this? We'll make this announcement. Should we make this announcement about a new bit, a new bit? Or do we want to? Or I think we.
All right, hold on. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Adam's movies. We'll do this first.
Oh wait, do Adam's movies first?
No, go ahead with Adam's. There we go. Perfect.
First movie is X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Woo! Opposite sides of the spectrum.
Good movie.
Second movie is Moses. No.
Second movie is
Barbie.
The most recent Fantastic Four
movie.
I mean, technically on opposite side of the spectrum.
Kind of a time travel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Future Past.
One part's waters, one moves coins.
The second movie's a rom-com.
Oh, I know what he's going to do.
It's a musical.
I think it's a musical.
Oh,
no,
look at this.
Oh.
Wow. The Beatles, A Hard Day's Night. Wow.
I get to pull out the Criterion Blu-ray.
Where are you pulling these critically classic movies? I have to know.
On Max.
Well, Adam said something very, very similar when we were at the theater on Saturday. He Rocky Horror Picture Show is one of his favorite movies.
Oh yeah,
and we're like, it's a musical.
Oh my god!
I've never seen that.
A participating musical with that, yeah.
So if you don't have a Max membership, get a different email address and do the free sample. There you go.
I get a few.
I am overdue to rewatch A Hard Day's Night, so that's great.
I have never watched Hard Day's Night.
Oh, I have not either.
I saw it on the band bus in like high school at one point, but that's been my only time seeing it.
I have the Criterion Blu-ray, not the 4K. They re-released it at 4K now, but
I saw it on the big
movie.
screen.
It probably doesn't need 4K.
I saw it on the big screen at the University of Champaign.
Oh wow!
If
only you had some merch to talk about with the house.
Yeah.
So next week also I'll be in Washington D.C. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get on or not.
Oh, okay.
It's Josh's birthday on Sunday.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. So I will try my best to at least be on audio, if not.
That's.
I will watch these by then.
Well, and so we can now talk about what's coming.
So Rocky Horror is not streaming anywhere. That's why he didn't pick it.
Plus, I don't want to throw hot dogs at my screen.
Yeah,
we're toast.
Yeah. So okay. So for the following week, we're gonna make things even more confusing. We're gonna take a little break from choosing TV shows for a little bit here, and instead, once a month, we're gonna choose a theme movie. It's gonna be pretty exciting. All right, so here's how this works. Every once a month, determined basically on what's going on during the month, we will pick a theme and have everybody suggest a movie for that theme, which we will put on a wheel and we will spin. So, for example, for next week, everybody should consider a sports movie that we would then watch the week after that. So
the Super Bowl.
12th, nope, on the 5th, you'll bring your sports movie. We will put them all on the wheel and we will spin the wheel and see what sports movie we will be watching the following week. So yes, because of the Super Bowl, obviously we decided that for February, it would be sports movie.
You didn't think to do a romantic movie because of Valentine's Day.
No, I figured the most obvious choice, it's a sports movie.
Oh.
It's already Valentine's Day up.
That's
yes,
right, exactly.
So the next question then is, are there St. Patrick's Day movies?
There's Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
March will take care of himself.
Or I think isn't March when they Daytona 500 is? We could do a car race movie in March.
Finian's Rainbow.
But also,
Passover movie.
This is not
March Madness basketball movie.
Brigadoon.
So you can do a racing movie for this month, for February.
Yeah.
Or you can do the Ides of March. You can pick an ancient Rome movie.
Here we go.
Already jumping to March. Let's focus here on February.
Right.
All right. So the fun thing about this is that you can certainly gang up. And if you want to be like, well, all right, Dan loves Happy Gilmore, I'm going to put Happy Gilmore 2 to multiply the chances of
Happy Gilmore 2. There was a sequel?
I know. But this way you got more chances of getting
That's
your
Happier Gilmore.
If you form alliances.
And then the final of the trilogy was Happy Ending Gilmore.
Well, we already did Hoosiers, so we're done with basketball movies.
Is that the only? What about the fish that saved Pittsburgh?
Get Longest Yard.
Oh, is it
That's
the
a good
longest
one.
yard?
There you go. So next week we will ask anybody who wants to participate.
Come up with a sports movie.
Prepare a sports movie that hopefully is streaming somewhere. This way, once a month, we just mix it up a little bit. All right, now, Groundhog Day, 1993. Bill Murray, Andy McDowell, Chris Elliott. The list goes on, but I'm too tired to keep reading. Harold Ramis directed and co-wrote. produced this for $30 million. Nope, $13 million. Worldwide gross of $71 million. Critics at a 94. The audience at an 88. Groundhog.
Why do I get the feeling that those hands actually belong to the graphic designer of the poster, and that Bill Murray didn't actually do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the fingers through the grate in The Third Man. They weren't
exactly
Orson Welles.
No.
Was this anybody's first time with seeing Groundhog Day?
It was my 30 billionth time.
Wow.
Right?
I'm stuck on this day.
You've had the same day repeating where you keep watching this movie.
I just wake up and it's there. Yeah.
It did, however, inspire me to upgrade to the 4K version.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. Is that a steelbook?
Yep.
Does it also have an amazing DVD menu?
No, that's the one sacrifice. Is the DVD menu is a lot more boring.
Oh,
That's so sad.
Yeah, I did hear. Well, from what I read, is that Murray was going through a divorce and being a little difficult during the movie, and Ramis eventually had his co-writer go and like tell him that he had to calm down and get more serious or whatever. And then
they didn't talk for years. Yeah.
Have you heard the theory about Ned Ryerson?
No.
There's a theory that he's Satan and that he's the one causing the loop.
See, I did a little research.
So more
I come up with that.
It's not
So
Bill
here
Murray's
it is.
ex-wife.
Here, I'm going to read it real quick. Ned Ryerson is the devil, and he imprisons Phil Connors in a time loop when Phil refuses to purchase Ned's insurance. The only way Phil escapes is by finally agreeing to buy it.
Oh, okay.
So when he first encounters him, he insults him immediately. After the insult, he steps into a puddle, and Ned remarks, "Well, haha, watch out for the first step. It's a doozy." First step Ned refers to is literally the first step Phil takes after being placed into the time loop, and Ned is laughing at the irony of Phil's first step.
Wow, reach.
On the last day of the loop, we see Phil has purchased insurance from Ned, much to Ned's pleasure. This is actually the act that frees him from the time loop, not him successfully getting Rita sexually interested in him.
But there were so many things he did just one time in that final loop. Any of those could have been
a terrible theory, but
maybe it was the guy who choked to death, and because he died, then it like makes
But it's the last. It's the last day and the first day.
Yeah, same thing with the guy. Died, so
you're making the assumption. You're making the assumption that that's the only day he bought insurance from.
Actually, and one of the strengths of this movie, and this was not originally the case, deciding not to try to explain why he's in a time loop.
Yeah,
because it would have cheapened it somehow. It's better as a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you figure out of 10,000 some days that they estimate that he had, you only actually see 14 days in the movie.
Well, I think it's more than that.
Even if you include
Ramis estimates about 35 years.
How many times did that old guy die? Is that like a yeah, but that's the point. Like we see it like in that montage, like it's like 7 or 8 times. It has to be more than 14.
I wanted to see his like first attempts at ice sculpting. Like, what did he just like walk up to a guy with a chainsaw and be like, "Hey, I want to try that"? Like, we never actually see his process on that one.
The deleted
piano playing.
See, the piano one, we at least see him approaching somebody initially, and so we kind of get a progression.
True.
The ice sculpting, he just suddenly is an expert at it, and we never saw him learning it.
In the deleted scenes, there's a lot more things he became expert at. They showed him being a 300 bowler. He was an expert billiards player who could, did all these wild trick shots. Where he takes the old man to the hospital, let me see the chart. Let me see the chart. They show him in the medical library studying up with a copy of the guy's x-rays. So he became expert in much more than just, playing the piano and
he got his 10,000 hours in several times.
Yeah.
Well, Eric brought up a point that when he's playing the piano, the song that he's playing is Rachmaninoff's Rhapsody, which is
Somewhere in Time.
From Somewhere in Time.
Yay!
So he tied in a time travel movie to this movie, a time loop movie.
Maybe that was the secret.
Interesting.
So what really got him out of the loop was when he saw A Penny from 1979.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would have been.
You found one.
Yeah. Was that the movie he was going dressed as Clint Eastwood to see? Was it Somewhere in Time?
So Adam brings up a point that I found interesting, that he can only watch it once a year. One of the questions I had, because I noticed the bartender, after they'd been there several times in a row, was looking at him like, I know what's happening here, like literally. And I thought, did the bartender know something? So I Googled that. Well, there's this article this guy wrote. He watched it 365 days in a row. And he had a lot of good things that he came up with. There was a couple that was having an affair. There was the kid in the wheelchair is the kid who fell out of the tree, which I did not catch. Different things like that. He said
nobody caught him. He fell out of the tree.
The first 30 days.
You have never thanked me.
The first 30 days he watched it was about the main characters. You know, it was about Phil and Andy McDowell, whose name I don't know. Rita, yeah. So it was that, and then after that, he started paying attention to all the background stuff, and then and I'm like, and it was funny because I told Wade we should have watched it again yesterday because there was stuff that I was like, I wonder what happened. I missed something. I think this movie has so many layers that you aren't noticing. You're just like being entertained, but it was there's a lot to it.
It was really interesting in the director's commentary. The end scene where they wake up together, Ramis couldn't decide how they should look in that scene. Should they be naked? Should they be in their underwear? Should they be in pajamas? Should they be dressed? He really didn't know. So he pulled all of the cast and crew that were on set and had them vote. And apparently fairly convincingly they voted no. They did not have sex. They just fell asleep together and woke up. Right. And that's how you should portray it.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. No, there's a darker version in the original screenplay.
He had actually mastered himself, and therefore he was set free.
The first version of the screenplay was
it's
much
a simp
darker.
Movie.
Yeah, I read that too.
It also started in the middle. It started with him.
Yes, actually already
in the time loop, and you as an audience member didn't know what was happening. Why does he know all these things before they happen? Mm-hmm. And that was gradually revealed to you. And Ramis, I don't remember who it was. He was having a discussion with someone. They said, but then you're cheated out of seeing Murray discover what's going on, and
yes.
And so that's why he decided to do it that way.
Yeah. It's interesting that, the first time I've seen it a couple times, never thought about the fact that this wasn't just like a few days that this was happening, that this was years.
Yeah.
This was going on. And
how long would it take to learn to play the piano like that?
Right. Exactly. Because, and what I found funny about that was that the piano teacher goes, "That's my student." I'm like,
I know, that makes no sense.
Yeah. And I'm intrigued by how that lesson went that day, because he clearly went to a lesson right before he went and played that performance.
Maybe he just faked her out. And
why would he even go?
At that point,
at some point you'd have to stop going.
Yeah. I have realized that troubled me a little bit, and I ultimately came to decide that it's a case of the director saying, I don't care if it makes logical sense. I'll go for the joke.
It's a funny line.
And to be fair, I kind of assume that she's just saying that jokingly. Like, she's like, hey, that's my student. And then she knows that she's only said the one time, but she just
look on her face while she's watching him play.
I like this dance move.
Yeah, the dance
the smile that lights up her face.
By the way, that was actually Bill Murray playing too.
Oh, wow.
No, not on stage. No,
they said he was the one that actually played the music.
No, he was the one who played the halting version at the piano lesson.
Yes,
he's not playing on
stage. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, on stage that's nobody's playing that. But,
so no one in the outside world. Well, there's no outside world. The whole world was in the loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
If not, it would end and everybody would be 35 years older all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole world was in a loop.
Yeah.
Nobody just knows it.
Punxsutawney Phil.
This is one of those rare movies that became an archetype. I mean, people just use the phrase Groundhog Day as shorthand for doing something over and over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably only It's a Wonderful Life has been basically maybe remade more in different variations and in TV show episodes than Groundhog Day. It's just been done over and over and over again.
That's a good point. That before this movie came out, we didn't say, "Oh, it's a Groundhog Day."
No,
understand it.
And Groundhog Day has nothing to do with time loops.
Exactly.
Or does it? No, I'm kidding. Well,
all it has is 6 more weeks of winter.
And the movie premiere of Michael Shannon.
Oh my God, that's right.
he appeared as, was it Fred or Frank? The guy that was getting married who he gave WrestleMania tickets to?
Yeah.
That was Michael Shannon.
Oh, jeez.
In his first
no way
theatrical role. He was in a TV movie before this. But.
Let's talk about Chris Elliott for a little bit.
Oh. When he's trying to woo Linda, that scene is gold.
I love Chris Elliott so much. Like he was so, enmeshed in Letterman at that point. And this is before Cabin Boy, I believe.
Yes, this was the year before Cabin Boy.
It's been so long since I've seen this movie that I only knew him as Lily's dad from How I Met Your Mother, and I could not see him as anything else. It was
funny.
See, I knew him as Freaky Beaky from According to Jim.
From what?
According to Jim. Freaky Beaky and According to Jim, and he was also the younger brother of Amy in Everyone Loves Ray.
But wasn't he was the mayor in Schitt's Creek, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Yeah. First, that's true. Yeah. So I guess the combination of Schitt's Creek. I guess it's a similar-ish character in Schitt's Creek Mayor and in How I Met Your Mother.
He's a clever, eclectic actor. I like him a lot.
I'll tell you, this is the first thing that I've liked him in because he gets on my nerves.
Let's be.
I'm like, wow, look at him being a normal guy. I thought
he didn't really tone down.
He's human.
Yes, exactly.
It's on my nerves a lot. Dad, one of the most brilliant comics that ever lived. I think Bob and Ray was just absolutely comic gold. So he came from a good lineage.
But he used to be. He was the guy who lived under the seats.
And the conspiracy guy.
He was the,
Oh yeah, I remember it well.
Oh my gosh.
The guy who lived under the seats. It's very strange.
Well, that's what Ramus cast him from. He remembered him from Letterman.
Yeah.
And Eric,
he was off Letterman by this point.
When we started doing comedy, you kind of looked a little bit like him.
I did have a little bit of a
yes, that is true.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, Roland Shit. What a great name.
Yep.
It's even better when you read it.
Well, and if this is CBS, you have to put the name up on the screen every time you say the name.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Rolling shit. Salsa.
Cool Bear had so much fun with that.
It looks like a guy I worked with in this picture on Wikipedia.
Wiki.
I'll be honest. I think this is very close to a perfect movie. I
agree with that.
It is an extremely rare case of humor, romance, and actually profound messages and profound character development in one movie. And I can only think of a few movies that do that.
And the reason why is because it's not afraid to be dark and embrace it, but still turn it around on itself.
I will agree with that. Outside of, I am not sure I really like Andy McDowell's character. I feel like Rita, at least early in the movie, is kind of a snob. She's supposed to be fun and quirky, but then it's like, oh, I always drink to world peace.
Yeah, that was the line I was going to mention. That was such a weird, pretentious line. And other
it was a little bit weird.
Why are you so into her when she's so French poetry? It's like, oh my God.
She's a bohemian. You don't know why you love her. You just do.
Awkwardly enough, this movie makes me think of The Terminal.
What?
Like, it's not reliving the same day, but how he's stuck doing the same.
Yes.
It makes me think of that.
Okay.
There's only good.
I was going to ask Eric a question. Do we plan to score this or not? Because are we scoring? You were scoring this like a rig. Okay.
It's a bonus.
We're not coming back to this later.
I just thought because it was a bonus, but it wasn't required. But okay,
it's not required, but it seems like everybody watched it.
Cool.
Or has seen it.
Seems like everybody.
I think my favorite Chris Elliott line is, Would you be at all interested in seeing the inside of a van? The worst pickup line in the history of pickup lines.
You want to see my van? I got leather seats.
I have a van.
They go all the way down.
Although it's not too far behind. He might be okay. Well, no, probably not now.
So my next question is for all of our viewers, please like and share. It helps the algorithm. That's all. If you're watching us online, give it a like.
Give it a like. All right. Where are you going to start, Dan?
Well, we always start with who picked it. So I guess that's you.
Well, I mean, I brought up the idea, but okay. I agree. I think with what Dave said, I think this is practically a perfect movie. I wish the Rita character had been a little more fleshed out, maybe made a little more interesting, maybe given some dimension. But this is something that really just occurred to me at this viewing. Otherwise, I mean, this movie, as Dave put just everything that Dave put out there is the fact that it's got a great message, but it doesn't shove it down your throat. It's totally enjoyable to watch over and over again, even if it is just once a year. I'm gonna go 98.
Wow.
Oh
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go in a different order than usual. I'm gonna go next. How about that?
I like it.
I kind of picked it too. Yeah, this is a great movie, and I love the fact that they filmed some of it in beautiful Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And Brian Doyle Murray has a cameo as the mayor, and Stephen Tobolowsky to me is just fantastic in everything.
He is so funny in this.
He's good in everything. And
he improvised so much of that.
I'm going to agree with Eric. I'm going 98 on this one.
Wow.
I can't really critique this movie. I just love it in so many ways. It's also one of those rare, you could call this a romantic comedy because it has romance and comedy, but it's not a romantic comedy. It's because the romance, so many romantic comedies, from the first 5 minutes who's going to get together. And I really don't feel that in this. It's got a much more organic feel to it. It flows much better than that. It's got so many great lines. It just
endlessly quotable.
Oh, endlessly. I would love to stand here and talk with you, but I'm not going to. I mean, and I still say my favorite line in the whole movie is, "You have never thanked me," after he catches the kid. I just love that line through and through. I love some of the other small moments, like when he kisses the owner of the bed and breakfast. Mm-hmm. Just the way she reacts to it is just pitch perfect.
Yep.
When the couple that was just married gets the WrestleMania tickets and Michael Shannon kisses Andy McDowell, the look that the bride gives, that 1 second reaction is just pitch perfect again. It's just wonderful in pretty much every way. I think I've given a total of 2 100s so far in EriDan. And I think I'm going to have to give a third.
Ooh.
Wow.
I just love this movie from beginning to end, top to bottom. That's not to say it's impossible to improve it, but that's hindsight. It is a movie made in just absolutely the perfect way.
Beautiful. You say he's going to have to give a third, so that's only 33.
Oh, I see what you did there. Math humor.
I have jokes. They'll suck. So this movie, on the other hand, yeah.
Oh, really?
I've never had a problem with this movie. It just is something where you know it's going to have to end well because of how hard they really try to make Bill Murray go through as much pain as possible. And if you know how much in pain Bill Murray looks every time he's in a movie, you just know it has to end positively in some way. I mean, even if it's directed by Sofia Coppola. So
it's a good movie.
It is a good movie. Thank God Sofia Coppola can direct. Yeah, I really freaking love this movie. Yep. It's probably, top 3 SNL directed films. You can see how it kind of spun off, and has every actor has their own variation of it, like Adam Sandler and Click.
50 First Dates.
Yes, exactly. I just really enjoy it quite a bit, and yeah, it's kind of like I think Dave is taking over the review and saying like, yeah, you can't really say it's terrible. I don't think it's a perfect movie. Some of the lines don't age as well. That's okay. I probably will give this like a 96, 95.
You will or you won't?
I will. 96.
96.
Nice.
All right. O'Brien.
I like this movie. Used to watch it all the time whenever it was on TV. I think we had it at some point. I couldn't find it. But yeah, I don't know what to add. Time loops are fun.
Yeah. Is this a time travel movie?
Did you say 95?
95, yep.
95.
I love the line from the guy in the bar when Bill Murray goes, what if you had to live the same day over and over and over? The guy goes, yep, that's pretty much it. Like
Amanda?
Yeah, I mean, this is not going to be surprising. This is a good movie. I agree that Rita was like weirdly pretentious at times. Like, if you just got rid of the let's drink to the groundhog. I always drink to world peace. Like, that was the only one that really felt like
down.
Yeah, that was weird. But otherwise, I mean, I can't really criticize much about this movie. It's really good. I'm not sure it's one that I'm going to watch like constantly, but I can easily watch it once a year on Groundhog Day. Yeah, it's nice. I'm going to give it 93.
93. Cody.
I like this movie. There's a part of me that struggles because I'm the type, I think we talked about it already, that it's a good thing that they didn't give you a reason why he was in the time loop, but part of me wants to know why. And it's it's a struggle for me personally. I understand why.
I remember your criticism of defending your life. It's like, why did, but you always want to know why.
I want the why matters to me. The why in everything. I talk about that all the time at work. Why do we do things this way? Because this is why. And so it's frustrating to me, but I am also going to give it, I'm going to stick with the year it came out, 93.
93.
He's the kind of guy who's like, I want to know what's in the case in Pulp Fiction.
By the way, I just looked up. They filmed very little of this in Punxsutawney. It was actually filmed in Illinois.
That is correct.
But
and
they
the
do
only
have
shots
some
in Pittsburgh was the second unit that did the outdoor scenes.
There you go. I sit corrected.
Yeah, I've driven through Punxsutawney before, and they've got groundhogs all over the place. I mean, statues of groundhogs and everything. It's kind of crazy.
Now, real quick, in Caddyshack, wasn't that a groundhog that he was fighting?
That was a
gopher. Oh, it was a gopher.
Yeah, kind of.
All right.
Guess depends what state you're in.
Yeah.
Gopher's a groundhog on a diet.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
So yeah, I think it's a good movie. Great, it's an awesome concept, and they do a really good job with it. I'll go ahead and say 100 on it also.
Woo!
Wow, another 100.
Yowza.
Is this the day we beat Forrest Gump? We'll see.
I hadn't watched this for a while. I knew I had seen it before. I don't know if it was like a video rental or in the theaters. I don't remember anymore. And hearing so much about the Groundhog Day thing we were talking about earlier, that I just assumed that it was really cheesy from in my memory. I wasn't remembering how good it actually was. So we're sitting there watching it. I'm like, well, this is really well done. This is a nicely made movie. This is good. And it's about home-ish. Well, sort of. I've never been to Punxsutawney, but that's still home. I still claim it. And seeing the turnpike and the wall, I'm like, I recognize that wall. It might not be the turnpike. It might be 79. I don't know, but it's home. Bill Murray is not my favorite SNL guy. And Andy McDowell and he don't mesh well for me. That was my biggest pet peeve in the whole thing. And that's okay. I think it for the time, for 1993, that's who was doing movies. So they paired them. So that's all right. And I do like her. I just loved all the extra pieces. I was talking about this earlier, and just how I did a little research because of the bartender. looking at them like he knew what was happening. And I said, I Googled that. Does the bartender in Groundhog Day know what's happening? And so all this interesting stuff. People have like thought about this, have researched this. And I'm like, this is a whole thing. I should probably
want to know why.
Yeah, they do. They want to know why. And I thought I'm going to have to watch this movie again and catch some of these things. So it's really well done. I'm going to give it a 95.
95.
Yeah,
my mother gives it a 96.
Nice.
Wow.
Tom Hanks was considered for the role.
My best part in there was when the groundhog was driving the truck.
Oh, Raymond said that they filmed that, and they filmed so many takes. The groundhog was getting really antsy. So they said literally the next frame from the last frame he used, the groundhog turned around and bit Bill Murray on the finger through his leather glove, and they had to go take and get him treated and get him rabies shots.
No,
but they used every single frame of that.
Adam says, I'm glad they didn't try to make a sequel of this. I could see them doing a sequel by having a different main character and having nothing to do with the first one. Yeah, I Groundhog Day 2, Groundhog Year. I'm sure people pitch it. But there's been, like Dave said, there's been so many movies that are, this is Groundhog Day meets Die Hard. This is Groundhog
there was the
Day
Christmas one I posted that I saw at Half Price Books when I was there back in December. Everybody's made one of these.
Well,
what's the one where the girl keeps getting murdered? Death Day. That one.
Oh, Death Day. I thought about that.
What was that show that was the cop and the
Well, Groundhog Year is a real thing. It's every season of The Simpsons.
Yeah. There was a series that was kind of Groundhog Day too.
There was another series called Fast Forward where everybody had like a time loop and everybody went back 18 months. That was a cool show. Now here's Adam's score. Of course, Adam is always Adam. It's a good movie. It's a weird movie in the sense that if I were to watch it over and over, I'd end up hating it. But when I do watch it, I enjoy it. But then I'm like, okay, I'm good for a year.
Yeah.
He's giving it a 75.
75 from Adam, which does keep it from knocking out into the top spot. But top 5, Groundhog Day. Coming in 5th place below Back to the Future and above Lord of the Rings, which is a very reputable score, 94.45.
See what you did, Hagrid?
There you go.
Oh, I like how you did this, Eric. You did the 85 to 100s.
You see, so now you have to tune in and find out how I divided everything else.
I was there for Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah, me neither.
Would you give it a better score or a worse score?
I would give it a worse score.
He's not
same. It would not be that quick.
You're never sorry.
Well, I mean, we could do an adjustment at some point.
No,
that's a lot of movies to do that. I don't think that makes sense. Yeah.
We're not,
If you ever want to do a rewatch of a movie and have people who didn't rate it before rate it, you could. We did that when you did the recap ones. You did 2 a week for a while, where one of them was a fresh movie and one was a recap.
It was a TV show.
That's true.
But Tom Hanks was considered for the role, and after it came out, Hanks went to see it and called Ramis and said, "You did the right thing not casting me. The problem with me would have been people think of me as a nice guy, and they would have known from the beginning, oh, he's going to have a redemption arc. You're never quite sure with Bill Murray if he is or not."
It is incredible.
Yeah, it works well.
Very well casted.
Yes. Yeah, the casting is excellent. All right. Well, now we can move on to this. Oh, my goodness. So did you have other time to watch anything else?
Yes. You know what I started watching?
Please tell us.
True Detective.
Jodie Foster.
No, that's the new one. We went all the way back.
You went all the way back.
Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey are season 1, and then season 2 is Colin Farrell without his accent.
Speaking of Farrell, Alexander Daddario.
Say what now?
Did no one see that freaking show? Alexandra Daddario. She's in the show. Second episode.
Oh no, I haven't seen the show.
I've not watched the show, so.
All right, never mind. It will be funny. Trust me.
Vince Vaughn is in it as well.
I'm in a mood.
I heard the second season was not nearly as good as the first season, but then I've heard good things about this third season. And it's like the first season was like what 2005 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're just releasing the third season now.
No, this is like the 5th, isn't it?
Am I wrong about this?
Yeah, I think this is the 5th.
Still, it's been going on for 15 years, 20 years.
This guy was in it as this slimy psychiatrist.
What the hell is that?
This is a bargain basement Richard Belzer?
It's Rick Springfield.
Looks like the guy from Burn Notice had he actually got burned.
It's the guy from Burn Notice if he never got his hair transplants.
Yeah. So there's our second Rick Springfield reference of the evening.
Wow. Oh, that one that I had on DVD.
Yeah.
So it's not gone on as long as I thought. This was season 1 was in 2014.
Is that what we got?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're on season 4 now in 2024. So it's taken them 10 years to make 4 seasons.
And it's different. Every season's completely different.
They're all true detectives.
But they're all different actors, different storyline, different locations. Unless they tie them in season 3 somehow. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, they all come together in season 6. It's like the feeder movies into the Avengers.
Yes.
Fun.
We did finish watching season 2 of Good Omens. Very good. Not as good as the first season, but that's a very high bar. And they've announced there's going to be a 3rd season, and it's going to be the final season. So they're going to wrap things up.
Very good.
I did just watch the movie Leave the World Behind on Netflix.
Oh, what'd you think of that? I like that.
That was very interesting, and I'm still mad because I still want to know the why.
I haven't finished it.
There it is.
You're not getting the why from that one.
So, did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once, Cody?
No.
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
What was on the letter to Pam in the teapot? What was on the letter to Pam in the teapot?
Nobody will tell.
What did he say to her at the end of Lost in Translation? I gotta know.
I hate things that are left up to me to decide.
Was Rey actually a Skywalker? Actually, no, she wasn't.
She wasn't. No, she was a Palpatine.
A man or a woman?
Bruce Willis was dead the whole movie.
How did he become a ghost?
I just watched. I literally just watched that movie, and I can't remember if they told us why the deer were being weird.
What was Rosebud?
Sled.
It was.
Can we throw a crying game too while we're at it?
Like, really?
I know all there is to know. What I don't understand is how in Superman 2, he pulled off his logo off his shirt and threw it at them. Like that was some sort of a...
and captured him.
It's like the tiara from Wonder Woman.
Yeah, how did that I'm gonna take my tread logo off.
And Michael Shannon played Zod
No more
in what the Man of Steel and the Flash movie. Speaking of reference to Groundhog Day.
It is so bizarre to me that his Doomsday character in Batman vs. Superman is literally the same way they made Nuclear Man in Superman 4. Like, Zack Snyder, you're referencing the worst Superman movie ever made.
Is that the Richard Pryor one?
Yeah, no it's the one after it.
Oh, okay.
Four is the one Chris Reeve wrote.
Is
it like Shatner in Star Trek 5?
Yeah.
Let me write it.
And it stars the guy in 2.5 Men. What's his name? Not Charlie Sheen, the other one.
John Cryer.
Yeah, John Cryer plays Kentucky. Lex Luthor's nephew.
That noise was.
I did watch season 2 of Reacher.
Oh, I love Reacher.
And it is as good as the final episode goes a little over the top, shall we say, but it is still very good.
Boy, the last episode we watched of True Detective, there's a shootout that is unfreaking believable. Like I made a comment. I said all the cops are getting prepared. They're putting on their bulletproof vests. I'm always like, they always put on the bulletproof vest, but you know, you can get shot in the head. It's like the vest, sure, that protects your heart and everything, but this might take. And then
that's why you wear your Guy Fawkes mask.
Within 15 seconds, one of the guys, boom, head gone.
Yeah, great. Put a helmet on.
I'm like, well, he wasn't listening.
Oh, and they had a little 3-minute promo preview of season 3 of Resident Alien, which I'm greatly looking forward to because I loved the first 2 seasons. Alan Tudyk is wonderful in those.
I watched a very bad movie. I watched Grown Ups 2. This was there was a podcast by a couple of New Zealand comics that I really like called The Worst Idea of All Time, something like that, where they watched Grown Ups 2 every week for a year and did a podcast review of it afterwards. And I wanted to listen to the podcast, so I watched. They have not seen Grown Ups 1. They are jumping in on Grown Ups 2, and it's just them increasingly losing their minds and finding increasing minutia in the movie. It's very fun.
That's
wow.
I was talking to Eric about that before we started. That in the Groundhog Day, when I did research on Groundhog Day, there was a guy who watched it every day for 365 days, doing the same thing to come up with the minutia out of it.
Yeah.
So why do people do that?
Yeah, and then they followed it up with, I think, a season of Sex in the City 2, and then they did early.
What a great premise! I love this.
Yeah, in early 2020, they did a special miniseries where they just did a week where they saw cats in theaters every day for a week and reviewed it afterwards. And then I think they did the Fast and the Furious, and then the most recent one, they're ending it after the current season, but they did the Fast and the Furious series, but starting with the last one and going backwards, and then watching each movie the number of times as the movie number. So they'll watch like Fast and the Furious 8 times, then 7 times, and then they'll end with a single viewing of the first movie.
It's such a great premise. I love that.
It's very fun.
Man,
so do they do a podcast?
Useful for me.
They do a podcast after they're done with all 8 watchings, or are they doing one each time?
No, there's 52 episodes of the Grown Ups 2 podcast. I'm on to episode 10 where they finally made a drinking game out of it. But they have a few different special guests on watching it with the different episodes. But yeah, no, after every viewing, they do a podcast episode.
I have already been inundated with ads for the upcoming Despicable Me 4.
Oh, I didn't know there was.
Well, you know.
I watched a bad movie as well. I've been reading Alan Rickman's diaries, which are okay. It's weird because he doesn't. They're diaries, and when you write in a diary, it's not always your positive stuff. So you come off a little negative sometimes. And as most actors seem to be a little full of themselves, but I think you have to be proud of what you do to do what you do when you're an actor. So that's okay. But one of the movies, I started Googling and like, what else has he done? And this movie was called CBGB, and it's about the club in New York where punk started. And he played
the Ramones. Yep.
He played Hilly Crystal in it, and he was good in it. He is a good actor. I do love him. That's why I'm reading the book. But this movie was, first of all, it has a 7 on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, wow, it couldn't possibly really have a set. It has a 7. It was gross. It was gross, and it was not well done. It could have been a better as if they had done an actual documentary about Hilly Crystal. Yes, I agree.
Hilly Crystal, no relation to Billy Crystal.
Well, he said it in the movie. He introduced himself to somebody and went, did he just say Billy Crystal? What? And then I remembered, his name is Hilly. Okay. So
and CBGB is for country, bluegrass, and blues.
Yes.
CBGB.
And that's what his goal was, and it just didn't happen that way. You know how your best laid plans. And so the first group that came in was, I think they were called Television. And
is that Tom Verlaine? Yeah,
Pardon?
Tom Verlaine Television. Yeah.
I think I can't remember now because I'm pulling weird names out, and this is where I found out that Blondie was a punk band. I just love Blondie. I didn't know she was a punker. I had no idea.
Debbie Harry, they were,
That was great. I thought that was really cool. And
I wouldn't consider Bing Crosby a crooner, but
so it was. I went into it being interested in stuff, and then it was just gross.
That is too bad. I watched a movie that gets a 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. And I actually threw this into the comments on our Facebook feed, which was Basmati Blues. Because if you're thinking, well, I really want to watch a movie where I could watch Tyne Daly and Donald Sutherland as the evil people and have them sing a medley or a song about how evil they are. And if you've never seen this movie,
that was going to be my next pick.
The live action Despicable Me.
I just jumped it. Oh well, I had it queued up.
I thought it was pretty good. But I was going to pick that next.
I wish you would.
Well, I saw the worst comedy of all time.
Worse than Grown Ups 2?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no. Was Rob Snyder in it?
No, but Dana Carvey was.
What was it?
With Opportunity Knocks?
Also, Ryan Gosling's wife's in it.
Oh.
Does anybody know?
2002. What's Blake Lively?
No, it's not Blake Lively.
Yeah, that's
not the one we did a couple weeks ago.
It's a Happy Madison movie.
Oh.
Happy Madison has a reputation for trying to revitalize, comedians' careers. Master of Disguise.
Oh, that's a great movie. Do not talk trash on Master.
It is an awful movie, and my opinion of you has lowered just by you saying.
That's fine.
Is it worse than The Love Guru?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's worse than Love Guru. I don't think it's horrible though. I thought it was bad, but I don't think it's like
what's the movie with?
It has a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's the movie with Jackie Chan that has the suit that does the fighting for him? The Tuxedo.
Am I too turtly?
Is it worse than the Tuxedo?
It's one joke. I'm a turtle. I'm a turtle.
I like the Tuxedo. It's Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That's what everybody takes from it too, right?
Oh man!
One funny fart joke. That's it.
Well,
That's
no.
1%.
What about when he was George H.W. Bush in the bathroom?
That's the thing he can do. I'm not impressed.
What about when he's talking about man go in the water, shark in the water?
Quotable does not make something funny. Cats is quotable.
Pistachio disguise.
We need to do another watch party because that was amazing.
Adam watched Star Trek Nemesis.
I would gladly do a watch party of Master of Disguise.
I would definitely do a Master of Disguise watch.
Yes, I would 100%.
All right, Amanda, are we making another pact?
I'm not going to commit to picking that. You can pick that since I picked Cats. You can pick Master of Disguise. I'm not using up my choice.
I think
the sad part about it is Dana Carvey is hysterical. And if you listen to Conan O'Brien's podcast, where all of we have a ton of ex-SNL people that come on. We have Robert Smigel come on. You have Mike Myers come on. Almost to a man, they say the funniest person there was Dana Carvey.
Right. Oh yeah,
that he was just brilliant.
Okay,
yeah,
we have to let Ryan talk. He's set up.
I did sit up. I was falling down.
See your ceiling. I'm not impressed.
I was just gonna say because we were talking about watch parties, and I was like, I'm advocating for Starship Troopers still because I think
how about Battlefield Earth?
I think it would be really funny.
Yes. What about Battlefield Earth? Can we watch it, please? I would love to see Battlefield Earth.
We have to have dreads to wear it to watch it. Though. We don't get dreads.
Oh man!
You are still learning how to spell your name. God,
ooh, that is one of the worst movies of all time.
Yes,
the Scientology-funded movie. Yes.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
I don't even know this one. Like
Battlefield Earth. Oh yeah, it's crap.
Yeah, I think it
is acting best.
I believe I saw it in the theater.
Oh my!
I know.
Oh.
And I might have walked out. It might be one of the 2 movies I've ever walked out before it was over.
What was
Brian, imagine a movie starring the Baja Men, but instead it's the Boohoo Men and they're aliens. It's so stupid. I freaking hate that movie.
Is it like Battle of Los Angeles or something? I think I watched that one.
No. It's like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the bad version. That's what it is.
Oh, we should watch Planet of the Apes. No. That would be good.
The original, I assume.
Go ahead, not me.
I've seen. I mean, I like the original. Yeah.
The original is a good movie, but it's another one sort of like The Sixth Sense, where you really, I mean, it is a movie that most people had spoiled for them if they haven't seen it already.
Yeah, I mean, you already know the ending, really.
Yeah.
I'm realizing
like, how'd they get back to Earth?
We probably need to do.
Now you even know the ending.
We probably need to do an entire episode that's the worst movies ever, and then maybe we actually watch one of them.
It could be a theme.
Oh no,
that could be a theme.
Oh, that could be. That might be more.
That'd be good for April Fool's Day.
We can do that for Oscar month.
Oscar month.
No, we should
the worst movies ever to win an Oscar.
A lot of them.
Worst movie to ever win an Oscar?
Shape of Water.
It doesn't have to be Best Picture. It can be a more minor Oscar.
April Fool's Day will be a Monday, so I think that
it's my wife's birthday. I'm not doing anything that night.
Your wife was born on April 1st?
I know, isn't that crazy?
You're a comedian.
And my son's name is Josh. I'm just joshing you.
I did see during the football game. There was an ad for the new Rob Reynolds movie. Ryan Reynolds, excuse me. Ryan Reynolds movie.
Rock Reynolds.
Rob Reynolds. Yeah, Rob McElhaney and Ryan Reynolds have combined.
Yeah.
But he was talking, he goes, I'm here to promote my new movie about imaginary friends. I have one of them. You may know him. He directed A Quiet Place. And they switch over to John Krasinski and goes, I'm right here and I'm real. He goes, shh, you'll scare him. But it's apparently a combination live action animated movie about imaginary friends.
It looks really good.
All right. Watch party.
There we are.
We should do a watch party. It'd be great.
I we should do a month of movies that have to be under 40% of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
no,
20.
I'm not going to waste that time.
A whole month.
I don't think I could do it.
No.
Maybe once a month, maybe once every 3 months.
We could do movies that are under 40 on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score has to be 70 or higher.
Yeah. Like if they're good,
or something like that.
It's the old high-low.
They're bad movies, but they're still fun.
But people like them, yeah.
Look at Cody like an evil dictator stroking his cat.
Oh, well.
Scott, do you understand why I stroke my cat?
His name's T'Challa. He's a black
Look at T'Challa.
Do you understand why I stroked your thigh with my foot?
Awesome. You mentioned that twice in this week, you know.
I know, because he kept making fun of me for groping your ass.
Oh yeah, so Scott emceed the show on Saturday night, and then he grabbed my butt as we walked out, and I think he might have done a little colonoscopy.
Oh,
have you had HR get in touch with him?
Have I right now?
HR has HR contacted him yet?
No, not yet.
Well, it was part of the bit because it was my joke. I said he's 50% comedian, 50% writer, and 50% male escort. Which actually did get a good laugh.
And it just killed. That joke just killed, right?
Well, yeah. You killed in front of 100 people. You just weren't there.
It's a math.
We got to try to figure it out.
That
Trying to do the math still.
The kids love the math jokes. I like it.
50,
That's what we do at school.
I like the old Paul Reiser one. He'd always do. He'd say, "Okay, number one, I need new glasses. B, I need a new shirt."
My favorite.
Yeah,
I love him.
This is what I'm saying.
Classic guy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's about that time, I think, folks.
I think it is. So next week, double feature.
Mm-hmm.
I think about sports movies.
I don't even. That's right. Bring a sports movie. Bring a sports movie and watch yourself some X-Men: Days of Future Past and A Hard Day's Night, both streaming on Max.
There you go.
It's so easy to do.
Is Speed Racer a sports movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say so.
Oh, I like that one.
I'm leaning towards the Love Bug currently. So,
what, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo?
No, I'm going to start at the beginning.
Go to your cat's awesome.
Work our way up. But yeah, so work on your sports movie.
Is Cliffhanger a sports movie?
Wow.
Is 48 Hours a sports movie?
It's not
We
doing
already
it.
watched that though.
Not over the top.
Oh.
You mean not 48 hours. 48 hours is the Eddie Murphy movie.
Oh, sorry. 97 hours. My bad.
127 hours. All right. We'll see you next Monday. Good night, everybody. See you,
Goodbye.